Number two, don't trade your loved ones for it. If you make all the resources and all the successes in the world and there's no family member to say well done, you still feel lonely. People management is a completely different conversation. I would always encourage entrepreneurs to take the time, learn it. You make mistakes. You hire the wrong people. You not know how to set up your KPIs and all that, right? The best thing you can do for yourself, the best thing you can do for yourself is having somebody, almost like your operations person or someone that can withstand the pressure and the energy that you bring in, and they can easily diffuse it across the team. Because sometimes you have the right intentions, but you communicate wrongly. I've been a victim, by the way. I've been both a victim and also been a the oppressor
Mm.
in whatever. So sometimes you have the right
Oppressor
I'm not the
general.
best. Sometimes you have the right intentions. You all you want is the company to grow. Yeah, guys, how can you grow our revenue? But some people receive it differently. Some employees will understand. Some wouldn't understand. Some employees say, you're not even as old as my younger brother or my younger sister. Why you do want talking to me?" From cultural background? Some from a different culture feel like, oh yeah, that's fine. That so and there's internal politics and all that. And so I would strongly recommend that as an entrepreneur, don't assume that because you're a business owner, all of a sudden you understand leadership. Don't assume. You don't. You may know, you may not know. And so be sincere with yourself. If you're not the best leader, try to get people around you that can help you with that journey. Um, and of course, on the third question that you did ask around how do you balance and the idea of balancing, I think it's case by case. Depends on what people want to optimize for. Some people, because of your health condition, you have to optimize for more rests. And more people, some people you have to optimize for more networking, more. So it depends on the stage where you are at. At the early stage of your business, you're more optimizing around people knowing you, networking because you want to establish your dominance in that industry and all that. At some point, really you get tired of it because sometimes maybe even without every single month you get to speak, and sometimes you want to now spend time with your family and all that. But depending on the stage where you are in, do not trade. Don't trade your mental health for anything. You are as important as a business. Number one. Number two, don't trade your loved ones for it. If you make all the resources and all the successes in the world and there's no family member to say well done, you still feel lonely. There is no, and also don't trade being human for it. I understand how difficult it is to be a business person, but still have the empathy, and have the courage to just be human. Just be human. Just be, know that other people are also facing challenges, and don't be too arrogant about it. Um, and yeah, that's what I would say. And as long as you keep on those things, that you can. I don't have the best hack to say this is how you should create balance because people are in different conditions. You live in different country. I live in a different country. My realities are quite different. But as long as you don't don't trade your mental health. You have to be mentally strong. You can't give what you don't take. If you're unhappy, you can't lead a team that is happy. You and the energy, people take the energy from the top. If you have a boss that is very indisciplined, not disciplined, you can easily see from the team the moment you enter the company, you can see that this company is not disciplined, right? So that's what I would say. Don't trade your mental health. Be in the right state of mind. Always be focused. Then number two, don't it doesn't worth it. You have millions in your bank account, but you don't have any family member or anybody that can say, I'm proud of you. Right. Because sometimes when people are home say, I'm proud of you, it's worth more than even when people outside say, I'm proud of you. Right. So don't trade it. Don't trade it. And don't trade it means that maybe you want to spend more time with them, ensure that your schedule is clear sometimes. Some weekend intentionally shut down. It's hard, by the way. But some weekend, don't open your laptop. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll
Yes,
be
sir.
fine. Just shut your laptop and say, "Let me do a movie night
With family.
with family, or my loved, or my friend. Let me invite one
Mm,
friend and I'll just do a movie night." You'll be
mm.
fine. You'll be fine. On Monday, you resume whatever happened. Let it happen. And by the way, I usually advise people that if you build a business and you cannot take a day, 2 days, 1 week off without something crumbling, then you've not built a foundation of
Yeah.
business. You've not built a business that's strong. If
Mm.
you cannot take a week off your business and say, and you're
About
not
to increase.
short, and
Mm.
something will not crumble, you know, because the idea of building a business is that there's going to be a point where you transition out and hand it over to somebody else, and you keep
Yeah.
going. But remember, and I'm sure you know this, a lot of businesses in our clients, the moment the founder dies, that business within a year or two,
Yeah.
even the family members cannot be. They don't even have the knowledge. They don't even understand what this person does, right?
I know.
So yeah, I usually encourage people to say, build a business that you can stay away from for days.
I agree. I agree. And I think
Yeah.
it's a very sound advice that I hope that, people we all can really embrace, right? And be intentional about. It takes a lot of work, just like you've alluded
It
to. It
does.
takes
It
a
does.
whole lot of work to build
Yes.
systems
Yes.
and processes that are self-running,
Yeah.
right? But I think in it lies our rest and peace of mind, and peace of mind,
Yes.
and peace
Yes.
of mind,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
you know, I mean, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing that.
Yeah.
We should be seek people out and people who can, give us ideas, right? The
Yeah.
idea people who can execute, people
Yes.
who can be accountable to,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And not just try to help people just because we're looking for something to come back, right? We should,
Yeah.
as much
Yes.
as
Yes.
possible, be
Just
very true in our intentions.
be
Just do
true.
it
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do. We should be human, right? Those are the ideas, and those are very, very helpful.
And even if you're a transactional person, I would say be upfront with it. If I'm giving you
That's
something right now, yeah. If I'm giving you something right now because I expect something in return, just
Say, hey,
I'm giving you this now, please. When I come,
this is what I want in return. Let's not, let
I
our
may not
prayers not
know,
be
but at
clashing.
least you owe me one, right? That's the way it operates in the intelligence community.
Yeah,
Sometimes somebody just say, I'm giving you this intelligence right now. You owe me one.
you owe me
So
one, right?
let them know that
You owe me
that's it.
one.
You owe
Okay,
me one.
okay, I get it. And it's a fair point to make, right? So thanks a lot for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Now, a few questions, and I think we should, before Coyote comes after the two of us, we should begin to, bring it to a wrap, Larry. So, you already mentioned that, you've been able to raise, I mean, millions, $30
Hmm.
million, and that's a lot of money, right? And people can, do the math. But before you got to that point where you are able to raise, was it $300,000 or something initially,
Well,
or 250,
yeah, initially 350, then
350,
went
and
up
all
to
of that, and on and
yeah,
on like that. I
yeah,
mean, the moment you build the credibility, right, the money will just be, they'll probably be chasing you with come and take, right? The question I want to ask, Larry, is around before that initial raise,
yes,
right? When you had to basically bootstrap and
yeah,
hustle and find, how did you overcome that, that how did you navigate that particular turn,
hmm,
that funding challenge, which is the bane of, every, every entrepreneur, right?
yeah, yeah,
Thankfully, you already have a solution that is,
yes,
that is now marketable and scalable, right?
hmm,
But how did you go about managing that transition of, getting from a place where you don't have sufficient working capital to the place where you're
yeah.
not able to raise funds and raise different rounds of funding?
I would, and I'll be very practical on this, so that whoever is going to listen would pick it up. One is, well, so maybe rather than telling my story of how I did, I would just be practical on also learning if I do this again, what I would do. One is identify the most important thing that you need at the point of building. What I mean is this. So let's say you have an idea. You want to be, let's say, a logistic company. So what do you need? Maybe you need you want to build a mobile app for it, and then number two, you want to do sales. Whatever it is, just identify the most critical resources that you need to get to something called an MVP, which is the minimum viable product, which is the minimum, and it doesn't have to be fancy. We all witnessed the first few pages of Facebook compared to where it is now. That in itself is not even an MVP because Facebook has been done years before, so you can know how ugly probably it was. There are a lot of businesses that I know that are now multi what I mean, the valuations are hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of them are my friends. They started their company with like an Excel sheet. Until they were able to now build a software to automate. So minimum viable product does not have to be a very fancy shining software, very fancy shiny hardware, or very fancy shiny shop or store that you have to open. It could be you wanting to, have a fashion store, and you literally just want to start, right in the comfort of your home, right? Create a small space. That's your MVP. Just the minimum viable product that you can do. Um, And so that's the first thing you want to do. And so you should identify what resources do I need. The moment you identify the resources that you need, right? How can I get the resources to get there? And here are the steps. Number one, idea acceleration programs, incubation programs, or support programs around me, locally, internationally that I can reach out to. So you would just search and say, let's imagine a woman. How many um, initiative supports women-led businesses can I apply to? And begin to apply to as many as possible. It could be through training, it could be through whatever it is, but those things help, right? They help. That's number one you want to do. Number two is the concept of family, friends, and fools.
I just
If
got the third one for the first time today.
did you
Family,
hear?
friends, and
Did you
fools.
hear? Family, friends, and fools, right? Somehow sketch it somehow on your who are the family, friends, and fools that can you can speak to, and they can support either through connection, either through advice, either through, even though the idea is money, right? And ultimately, of course, money. And for the fools, and here's the hack for the fools, what you tell them is try to create a FOMO in them, the fear of missing out, right? If you give me this amount right now, number one, I'll give you 5% of my company. I'll give you 2% of my company. I'll give you 0 point something percent of my company, which I know would become X amount, which of course I will go into this. Try to see, and don't lie, don't do anything, but just is a conviction, right? So try to create FOMO for the fools. You see the family guys, the family ones, right? You know how to get a people the way you want to get them. And for your friends also, you want to sell. So you want to be, because one of the first skill you need to have as a business person, as an entrepreneur, is being a salesperson. If you cannot sell your idea, you cannot sell your concept, even before you hire a salesperson, like if you cannot sell and say this is it, then maybe you should get something else to do, right? So number two is your triple F. Activate your triple F. And the third one is how fast can I get my first customer? The race is to get your first customer, right? And then what can I do? And sometimes, let me say, you want to be the logistic company, right? You need an app and all that. Can you speak to somebody, just one person, that wants to send a package from UK to Nigeria, and you yourself, you physically go and pick up the item? You yourself will physically try to connect to somebody else that is sending that package, right? Like literally, and that's the first customer, right? You'll be so shocked that you can use the money from that first customer to build that product. You'll be so surprised, right? And literally, these are some of the steps that I would recommend for anybody that is bootstrapping. Um, then also the fourth thing is, what skill or services do you have that you can do on the side to power this thing? What that means is some of us, we can write. Some of us we can volunteer somebody somewhere else, they'll pay us, right? And we use the money to power these things. sometimes we can do something extra, right?
Mm.
For people that are not too young, that already have families and have the minimum money you have to be, minimum house rent and everything you have to be
That you need
doing.
to commit to every month. Yeah.
You want to speak to your partner to say,
Can we?
what can we reduce here just to, in return, don't worry, in
Yeah.
return I will,
Mm.
and if you are blessed with a very good family and very good partners, partners sometimes they will understand, but don't blame them if they don't understand.
Mm.
Because they don't see what you see, right? But when
Mm.
you can just reduce some portion of your budget, it could mean that you yourself have to eat less.
Yeah.
It could mean that you have to stop your vacation for the next 2 3 years.
Mm.
But those are the practical steps I would say. Those are some of the things that I did. I got my 3 Fs, by the way. I got my
Mm.
3 Fs. My sibling contributed at some point. I got my 3 Fs. I got my friends also to contribute. So I did most of those things that I did say, that I
Mm.
mentioned here, and it works. It may not work for everyone. It may not work for all use cases, but
Yeah.
one or two of it may work.
Wow. Three Fs. I mean, I've always known family and friends, right? The
You have
third
to bring,
dimension is the new
you have to
one.
bring, you have to bring the fools in. They're not, and I know it doesn't sound right, but you have to be able to
No,
fool
I
them.
think we all get it, right? I think we all get it
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's not that we you're not telling us to defraud them or to
No,
you
no.
understand. I think it's a nice cliche. It sounds good, right? At the end of the day, you're
Maybe I'll
asking
call
us
them.
to
Maybe I should call them angel investors. Let's just call them angel investors.
tell whatever. Let's call it whatever I want to call it. But
Okay.
the key thing at the end of the day is, Larry, what I hear you say clearly is don't lie to them, right?
No.
Sell to them,
Yes.
right?
Sell.
This is where the business is today. This is what I need from you. This is what it's going to become, right? And all of that being very factual about your conviction, right? And
You have
then
to be clear.
it goes from there,
You
which
have to
I
be clear.
think I think is fair enough.
Yeah. You have to be very clear. You have to be very. You have to be
Mm,
convinced yourself that this will become this and next thing. You may not know exactly what you have to do
mm.
for you to get there, but
But
you
you
have
know
to
the
be.
potential is.
Have to be a good salesperson.
Larry, now I have a question about your pivotal moment. That
Yes.
moment when you realize that, guys, we are no longer a payment solution company. We are
Yeah. Yeah.
now
Yeah. The data
a
company.
an
Yeah.
identity verification company,
Yeah.
right? Now that it's safe to say that that was like your inflection point because at
Yes.
that point everything just changed, right? Now the question is, at that point, not far from, not long from that point, I think you also resigned. You also,
Yeah. Yeah.
started putting
Yeah.
everything into it,
Yeah.
and you know, I was just wondering, you had an idea this would be big, but did you know how big it could be?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How did you go about that? That quantification, that whole.
Yeah. So again, like you said, the one thing that we shouldn't downplay as business owners, something called our intuition, and we all have it. We all have our instincts. You you have it somewhere that maybe there's something here, right? But you're not sure. So one of the things you can do is to now do research, right? To read more, get more research, and all that. For me, what made me more confident about the idea and what we're solving was when I now began to do more research, when I now began to say that I have witnessed this before. I've tried to open a bank account, I've tried to transact, I've tried to get a contract outside of my country, and I couldn't because this person does not trust me, right? I did not lay it on racism or lay it on. I just lay it on the fact that this person is fair that this person is not giving me this contract because they really do not know me, right? And so that was where the transition really happened, right? And I would vividly say that for so many people that all you need sometimes is just that hunch that maybe there's something here. And we people don't know, but we make we make these risk or these very risky decisions on everything we do in life. We just don't know. Many of us watch a movie by we just go and say, maybe this movie will be interesting. Maybe this movie will be interesting. You've never watched a movie before, but okay, maybe it will be interesting, and you play. And sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's not. Uh, maybe this place will be good. Maybe this school will be good. Maybe this food will be, and we make those concrete. It's the same way you could also make the same thing when it comes to business, right? But then the only difference is that when you have that intuition and that nudge, that look at this, right? Take some time to look at it. You cannot be an entrepreneur when you're not a good student of history. And what that means is, do we have anybody that has done this before? Because here's a litmus test. By the way, here's a litmus test for those that have ideas. Let me give it for free. The litmus test is, well, there are two litmus tests, so you can go with to any of these two options. One, if this is a novel idea, a very novel idea, even though the school of thought that there's no new idea anymore. But if this is a novel idea that I think is so amazing and whatever it is, if you're the only one that has, if no one is doing it, right? The two things: it's either you're so smarter than anybody in the world or anybody
Mm.
around you there, or you're just too dumb that you don't know that it's not going to work. Right. So it's either you're so smart or you're just too dumb. And you have to be honest to yourself. Am I too dumb? Maybe this wouldn't work. And people know already that nobody's doing it. That's the first litmus test. And you have to answer that question yourself and maybe get somebody
Yeah.
else to say, am I really dumb? Second litmus test is talk to what's called this one may not even apply, but talk to an elderly woman. I
Okay.
always believe in this one. Talk to an elderly woman. Most of the elderly women, they don't really care that much. Just tell them about your idea. Just get them understand. If they don't understand what you're saying, if they don't understand, change it.
If they
Take
can't
me.
get it, if another woman cannot get it, change it.
Cannot get, yeah. If you're trying to if you're trying difficult to and bring it to that level, and if they can't get it, you want, and here's why you want to do that. Here's why you want to do that, because especially when you're in tech, a lot of tech, we assume that people know tech. No. The moment you can tell someone, an elderly woman that is not so much techie, everything, and they can say, okay, well, I will pay. The moment you can get that litmus test and you get it right, right,
It means that
you can easily convince a customer. You can easily, it's easy. You can That's the litmus test to say, okay, now if an elderly woman
got it.
can get it, right,
Then
somebody maybe younger will get it as well.
yeah, yeah.
Two free litmus tests check. So I don't know if I was able to answer the question, but that was the transition for me. That's how we are able to transition. So be a very good student of history.
Obviously.
Know companies that have come before you that have tried it. Know the traction of that industry. Know the trajectory. You know how things apply.
Mm,
Um, because if you're just in your bubble and think that you're the smartest person, you're very smart. But if you think you're the smartest person in the world, you just may be the dumbest person as well. Okay.
I agree. I agree. And thanks for sharing that. I think it's helpful, right?
Mhm.
That when people come up with idea and I feel like there's something here, right?
Yeah.
To double click into it, do a little
Yeah.
bit of market research, right? And
Yeah.
whatever form that would take, read
Whatever
up, talk to
form that would.
somebody,
Yeah. Yeah.
but do it just to have an idea of what you're now. You may end up not being totally accurate. You may end up arriving at numbers that will be way more conservative than it should.
Yes.
But
Yes.
at least, but you have a fair idea of what is coming, and you can
Yes.
start
Yes.
building, and then you start,
Yeah.
scaling
Yes.
things
Okay.
up as
Do,
reality begins to dawn
do,
and
do
all
do
that.
you mind if I had just one or two sentences there?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Execution is more important than the idea. Execution.
Mm,
So when you have an idea, please spend more time on how you execute, not really on the idea. So the idea
mm.
could be you want to transport a package from, like I say, UK to Lagos. Think more about the execution because you can have many of us have ideas. We don't work on these ideas. Few months later, we see somebody else doing it. A few years later, and we're like, "Oh, I thought about this thing before."
That happens a lot.
You can still do it. You can still do the same thing
Yeah,
because there are no two ways to execute. So
yeah.
spend more time about the execution than really more about the
Done.
idea. Yeah. And then as a business person, think more about your first customer. How will I get my first customer? Then gradually grow. How will I get my tenth customer? Then once you get your first 10 customer, it becomes a little bit easier.
So yeah, two thoughts from that build from you. Number one is my first customer, my first
Yeah.
10 customers, and then we go from there. Then
Just
execution,
do, yeah, just
execution,
do
execution.
110, 110, 100. Just do 110, 100. The moment you can get one, whatever you did to get the one, do the same thing. Just multiply by 10. You probably get
Yeah.
your first 10 customers. Then multiply by 100.
And from there you just begin to. That's very helpful. Now our time is up, but I won't let you go without asking you just one more question. Just one more question, right? And the question is around and you touched a little bit on it earlier when you said that if you would do it differently, right? If
Hmm.
so if you look back, say 5
Yeah,
years ago, right, and
yeah,
you spoke specifically to fundraising, but I
yes,
wanted to broaden that into every aspect of the business now,
yeah,
right? So if you look back and say, 5 years ago, this is where we were, and this is how far we've been able to come, but we could have even done even better if
hmm,
we had done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 differently, right?
yeah, yeah.
Now, what will those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, different things be, right? What will you do differently?
Yeah.
Advice to your younger self, and of course, the young entrepreneurs as
So, and thanks for that. What would I do differently? One would be, I think at some point in the business, we're spreading out rather than being laser focused on one or two things, right?
well.
So, and we've corrected that right now in the business. We've corrected that, but I probably wouldn't even try to spread that. I
Mm,
probably just, it's better to keep digging on a spot or two spots
yeah.
than keep digging multiple spots. So I would use that. So that's the first one. Second thing also that I would do from a business perspective, I'm thinking about, and I'm trying to think about it both from fundraising all the way to customer acquisition and
Mm,
team, is fire very fast.
mm,
Um,
that's scary.
yes, because eventually you still fire the person or you still let them go.
Mm,
You can don't when you have team members that you are convinced and not committed to the same vision that you have, try as much as you can to make them, trainings and everything and all that. But you may begin to hurt your business when you let them stay back because few things may happen. It's almost like cancer. They begin to affect other team members. They begin to build cultures and because you as a business person, sometimes people don't notice. A lot of business people spend less time on physically in the business because you're out there chasing fundraising. You're out there going to go and speak in something. You're out there going for external meeting. By the time you're back, the team culture, uh, is changed because you were not physically there, and because you cannot be physically there because if you're physically there, other things will lose because your role as the founder of a business is even to be outside there, right? And when you allow a cancer to remain, it's going to hurt you eventually, right? So,
Somebody's threatening to shut us down.
so,
Yeah, we get it.
so that's what I would say. So, this is what I would say. So, don't, and it's one of the most difficult things to do, by the way. But just saying, don't be shy from it. Those are the
Mm,
top two reasons I would say, right? Really, every other thing, I probably do the same thing. I probably do the same way. Yeah, I probably do the same way. Really, these are the top two things that I would say. So, and maybe the second one will be more about the team dynamics. Invest heavily in team dynamics and team culture, right?
mm.
And you always get it right from then on.
Well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Lanre Ogungbe. Thank you so much for all that you have shared today. I mean, I've been so inspired by your story, right? By your transparency and how you navigated your journey, right? So thank you. I don't even know how to say thank you than to just say thank you and keep saying it multiple times, right? You said, you get one and then multiply it by 100. So let me multiply
Yeah.
my thanks by
Okay.
100.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been an
Such a
interesting
pleasure.
conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
it is. Thanks a lot. Thanks a
You're
lot, right?
welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking the time to watch the podcast. We are super thankful for you taking that time and investing the time to learn. We hope that you find the story inspiring and beyond that, that you've been able to articulate one or two things that you want to do differently in your own entrepreneurial journey. May I encourage you to please like, subscribe, comment, and please share the word within your own circle of influence, especially within those that you think are on the same entrepreneurial journey with you. May I also encourage you to please, beyond subscribing to our YouTube channel, follow us on our other social media platforms. That means a lot to us, and we can see that that helps us to track that we're making some progress and so making some impact. Thanks a lot once again for taking the time to watch, and to see you on the next episode.